Starving child Shah read Rainwater with a stranded millionaire. He laughed, "You'll die in the dust." Now he crawls at his feet begging for water. The sun hung like a burning iron plate over the edge of the Sahara, scorching the cracked earth. Golden dust swirled in the air, stinging faces with every gust of wind. Breathing hurt. This was no man's land between Mali and Niger, a dead riverbed snaking through the desert like a scar. And yet, people lived here. A handful of two-way reg nomads, once proud herders, now climate refugees with no country to call home. They crouched under half-collapsed mud huts, men smoking silently, women wrapping children in tattered cloth, lips cracked and bleeding. 10-year-old Amina sat apart, clutching a chipped clay pot, the last thing her mother left her. She was skin and bones, her shoulder blades jutting like dry leaves. But her eyes burned bright, stars refusing to fade. Then thunder. Head snapped up. Impossible. This land hadn't seen real rain in a decade. Dark clouds rolled in, heavy as iron. And then rain. Not a drizzle. A deluge, as if the sky had split open. The parched earth resisted at first, pockmarked by fat drops, then began to drink greedily, hissing like a starving beast. Children shrieked, sprinting into the downpour, mouths open, catching water in shirts, bowls, rusted cans. Amina didn't move. Her gaze locked on the black SUV stuck in mud and EARBY, its headlights still on, eyes of a trapped animal. The door opened. A man stepped out, crisp linen suit, polished shoes, holding a black umbrella like he was strolling through a Beirut cafe, not a desert storm. Samir Hassan, Lebanese TYCN. Sea of Golden Sands capital, en route to sign a $100 million gold mining deal in Niamey. He scowled at the nomads rolling in mud, as if watching some bizarre circus act. Driver. Get this car out, he barked. No one listened. The refugees were too busy. Gulping rainwater, their first drink in months. Amina watched him. Then looked down at her pot, murky, gritty water, the rely 2 sips worth. She bit her cracked lip. Stood. Walked toward him. Mud sucked at her bare feet. Each step burned. She stopped before Samir, tilting her face up, offering the pot. Sir, she said softly, voice cutting through rain. You need water too. Samir blinked. Looked down at this filthy, skeletal child, foot, toenails split, blue headscarf afraid. Then he laughed. A RP, ugly sound. He pointed, doubling over. A beg offering muiter. Do you know who I am? 1 drop I spill costs more than your life? Amina didn't flinch. The pot stayed raised. Samir's smirk faded into disgust. Listen, girl. The world doesn't run on charity. People like you. Born in dirt, die in dirt. No one will remember your name. He snatched the pot, took a sip, and spat. Filth. Then poured the rest onto the ground. The thirsty earth swallowed it instantly. See, Samir sneered. Gone. Like you. Meaningless. Amina stood still. Rain dripped from her hair, mixing with TRS she didn't know. She just bent, picked up the empty pot, and walked away. Behind her, Samir scoffed, mad people in a mad land. But Amina's heart echoed her mother's last words, blue is the sky's color. Water's color. Remember, if your heart leans toward water, the earth won't refuse you. She touched her mother's indigo headscarf, faded, torn, but still blue as a deep well. The rain stopped as fast as it came. Sun stabbed through clouds. Puddles steamed like the land itself was sighing. Amina dried her pot with a rag. She knew tomorrow, the earth would crack again, but she also knew, for one moment, she'd done something right. Not for thanks. Not for Reva Road, because water shouldn't belong to just one. Samir's SUV finally lurched free. He slammed the door, snapping at his driver, go. These vermin wasted enough time. Mud sprayed as the car sped off. Amina watched it vanish. Softly, to no one. One day you'll thirst. She didn't see the journalist snap her photo, blurry but clear enough, a small girl in blue, offering water to a man in a suit. 3 days later, it would trend online, desert kindness, a girl, a pot, a choice. Nor did she know a Ghanaian activist named Aisha would see it in Niamey, gasping at the SCARF's patterned two-way Rainwater oath weave, worn only in sacred rites. This child Aisha would murmur. She's more than she seems. Now, Amina tucked the empty pot against her chest, a ember not yet dead. She took her little brother's hand. Come, she said. Let's go home. Though home was gone. In this thirsty land, the memory of one Shah red drop had already taken root. Amina lay on the reed mat in the mud hut, listening to her little brother's faint breathing. Outside, the desert. Wind moaned through brittle shrubs like whispers. She pulled out the clay pot hidden under her robe, tracing its crack like the dried-up riverbed of her homeland. Closing her eyes, her mother's face surfaced in the dark. 3 years ago, the Agadez grasslands weren't dead yet. Green still clung to the earth, goats still grazed. Her father traded salt with camel ca ravens while her mother wove cloth outside their tent. They were two-way reg, the blue people. Men wore indigo turbans, women wrapped themselves in blue cloth, said to ward off evil and remember the sky's hue. Her mother's hands were magic. Her fabrics bore ancient wave patterns, symbols of water and wandering. Hung outside, they fluttered like liquid lakes in the wind. Amina, she'd say, two-way reg fia are stopping, not walking. Keep moving, and water will come. Back then, Amina was 7, her brother 3. She loved clinging to her mother's back, listening to the old song. Under dunes, spring sleep. Under dry rivers, forgotten sources wait. But that summer, the rains never came. 9 months of scorched copper skies. Grass yellowed. Camels became skeletons. Her father sold their last cow for millet, then the millet ran out. The elders voted to migrate south. Were herders, not beggars, her father insisted. But when the last well dried up, even camels gnawed leather straps. They had to go. That night, they walked south with 5 bony goats. Her mother ca ride her brother, Amina held her father's hand. Moonlit dunes loomed like slumbering beasts. By day 7, their water was gone. Her brother burned with fever. Her mother gave him her shari, drinking mud instead. On the 8th night, in an abandoned village, her mother collapsed, black blood at her lips. Poisoned water, her father trembled. Dying, her mother smiled, don't fear or I dreamed water. Vast blue as my scarf. She gave Amina her finest indigo. Cloth, this is the water oath. Remember, if your heart leans to water, the earth won't refuse you. She died gazing north home. Her father buried her in a dune, wrapped in their last clean rag. No marker. Just wind. Then gunfire. Militants mistook them for spies. Bullets rained. Her father shielded them, fell. Amina dragged her brother into a crevice, listening to guns fade. She buried her father with bare hands, spitting sand until her nails bled. Mama's gone. Papa's gone, she whispered. But we're alive. She tied the blue scarf tight. Wind lifted its edge, a tiny flag. 10 days later, they reached a Malian refugee camp, a slum of tents and plastic sheets. No government. No doctors. Just occasional UN rice sacks. Amina survived by scavenging bottles, hauling water for scraps. 2 sips a day, the rest for her brother. Kids called her Little Granny, her eyes too old. Once, she gave half her water to a sobbing toddler. Idiot, others laughed. You'll die. She didn't answer. Her mother's words echoed, water is flowing life. Give it, and it returns. Months passed. Drought worsened. Aid dwindled. Bodies piled up, mostly elders, babies. Wrapped in cloth, left for vultures. Amina Leah rened to filter mud through rags, distill dew in cans. She discovered pre-dawn sand held dampness, a few drops wrung from fabric could delay death. She taught other kids. Slowly, they followed. Amina, a boy asked, why help us, we're not kin. She read at the desert, my mother Shah Redwater. So must I. Then a truck arrived. Green uniformed volunteers. The leader, Aisha, a Ghanaian woman with obsidian skin and a silver droplet pendant, brought rain harvest tools, tarpes, pipes, sand filters. She taught kids to trap rooftop rain, purify filth with gravel. Amina listened, rapt. Water could be grown. Water isn't stolen, Aisha said. It's tended. Like seeds, given time, it births life. Amina raised her hand. What if rain never comes? Aisha smiled. Then we dig. We wait. We teach. As long as someone remembers water, it never truly dies. That night, Amina dreamed of her mother by an oasis well, beckoning. She woke, pulse racing. She couldn't just survive anymore. She'd be water's keeper. Next dawn, she found Aisha. Teach me everything. Aisha studied her blue scarf, nodded. It's Ha Road. You'll sta Irv. Be mocked. Amina straightened. My mother said, if he rts lean to water, earth listens. Aisha's grin flashed. Then you're our blue water girl now. She learned fast, sketching filter designs, memorizing terms like evaporation, condensation on scrap paper. She dug pits lined with plastic, crude rainwater traps. When storms came, she channeled every drop into storage. She gave clean water to infants, elders, keeping just a sip. Kids copied her. 1. 5. 10. Tiny collection. Spread across camp. Mockers sneered, playing mud pies. She kept digging. Laying rps the guiding flows. A drop meant little. But 1,000 a river. Far away in Niamey, Samir Hassan sipped alpine mineral water from crystal, gloating over his new gold mine contract. Africa's wealth is under these fools' feet, he told his aide. They kneel begging over treasure. He'd never imagined the girl whose water he'd spilled was now reshaping the desert's fate with sand, rags, and stubborn hope. Tonight, Amina mended her blue scarf under moonlight. Needle from wire. Thread from unraveled cloth. Stitch by stitch, slow, deliberate. Wind ca right grit and distant voices through the door. She looked up. Stars salted the sky. Mama, she whispered. I'm still walking. Water's still ahead. Samir Hassan stood in his Niamey penthouse, golden sands tower glowing beneath him like scattered gold on black velvet. A whiskey glass dangled from his fingers, ice cubes clinking. Outside, the Niger River shimmered under moonlight, a sleeping silver serpent. He'd just returned from Timbuktu. The gold mine contract was signed. Permits secured. In 3 months, drills would bite EARTH, and wealth would gush into his accounts. He sipped liquor, ice cold. 45. A boy who'd clawed from Beirut's refugee camps, peddling smuggled cigarettes and diesel until he owned mines across West Africa. Now, even the president called him Mr. Samir. He never saw himself as a colonizer. I bring jobs, progress, he often said. Africa's problem isn't resources, it's brains. On his desk lay an environmental report. Advisors had highlighted risks. High groundwater contamination threat. Cyanide use requires extreme caution. Village water sources endangered. Samir didn't read it. He signed, tossed it into the process tray. Progress demands sacrifice, he told his aide. Once we extract the first ton, we'll build water plants. Schools. But first, the project moves. He flipped open his tablet. Scrolling news, a photo stopped him. A skeletal girl in rain, offering a clay pot. Behind her, mud huts, refugees. On her head, an indigo scarf. Headline, Desert Kindness, a girl, a pot, a choice. What's this? He frowned. The aide peeked. Oh, that viral thing. Mali border camp. Girl gave her last water to some lost trader. Netizens call her selfless. Samir zoomed in. Cracked lips. Sunken eyes. That stubborn GLA re I've met her, he chuckled. My SUV got stuck in mud. She toddled over with filthy water. I told her people like her die nameless in dirt. The aide blinked. You refused. Samir snapped the tablet shut. Samir Hassan needs a Begair Shahridi, she can't feed herself yet play saint, he strode to the window. In Africa, 3 things they realize: politicians' promises, weather forecasts, and poor people's kindness. It's weakness in disguise. The aide stayed silent. Samir lit a cigar, smoke curling like Beirut memories. 20 years ago. 12 years old. Father dead in crossfire. Mother, sister, squatting in a tin shack, begging for UN rations. Once, he stole a water bottle, got slapped bloody by aid workers. He'd sworn then, one day, the world will queue for my scraps. Smuggling. Exploiting loopholes. Dealing with warlords. That's how he rose. Only 2 rules mattered: survival of the strongest. Profit above all. Know why I succeeded? He exhaled smoke. No softness. Africans wait for fairness, justice, but the world doesn't work that way. That girl Shah residential water. She still starves in mud. I drink alpine mineral water. That's reality. He smirked. Kindness a luxury for the full-bellied. Next day, chaos erupted. The photo went supernova. Ghana. Nigeria. Kenya. Youth reposted, she gave water. He laughed. Who's truly poor? Blue water girl trended. Eco-groups pounced. While a child Shah residential rainwater mines poison rivers. Samir's PR team scrambled. Golden Sands pledges $10 million for community water plants. The internet ROA read back, stop cyanide first. Worse, a French documentary crew, hired to film the mine's benefits, secretly visited downstream villages. Their unreleased footage showed yellow-green toxic rivers. Dead fish banks. A child with oozing sores. Water changed when mining came, his mother wept, investors panicked. Boa Road members hissed, Samir, fix this. We need a he RTWA Remang counterstory. He RTWA Remang. Samir scoffed. Fine. Bring that girl here. Photoshoot at our fake water plant site. Pay her off. End of story. The aide hesitated. What if she speaks truth? Samir's grin turned razor. SHRP, who controls the narrative, controls reality. She'll thank us. He dialed a government contact. Find me a girl, Amina. 2A Reg Blue SCARF Mali border camp. Tell her we'll fund her education. As he hung up, he poured another drink, swirling amber liquid. When you stand before me, he murmured, I'll teach you. Charity flows down, never up. He didn't know, at that exact moment, Amina knelt in camp dust, teaching kids to dig rainwater pits. Aisha had shown them sand gravel CHA coal filters. When the first clean cup emerged, children cheered. Amina held it to sunlight, watching rainbows dance in clear or water. This, she whispered, is purer than gold. And somewhere on the horizon, a government jeep sped Tawa RD the camp, official crest gleaming. The hey RS of fate turned. Samir thought he controlled everything. Thought poverty was weakness. Kindness, stupidity. Thought money could buy all story stuff, but he forgot in Africa, the EARTH remembers every drop's journey. And the wind at CA rise truth. 5 a.m. The refugee camp slept in blue-gray silence. Amina was already awake. She tucked her brother's blanket tighter, grabbed the chipped clay pot, and crept to the eastern sandflats. Yesterday, Aisha had taught their final water lesson, true wells are rent in the ground, they're in people. Each of you is a living well. Amina had scribbled it on scrap paper, pinned it to her mud wall. Now, she'd dig a real catchment pit. She chose a low spot where puddles once lingered. A rusty shovel bit into EARTH. Blisters burst on her palms. She didn't stop. I'll help. 12-year-old Mamu, father dead in a mine collapse, joined in. Then 80-year-old Lena, whose sick mother begged for water daily, arrived with a flat stone, for the base. More kids came. Torn ta RPs, 10 scraps as gutters. Even Idris, a grizzled ex-soldier, lugged over broken cement slabs. I've seen too many graves, he muttered. Never kids digging wells for strangers. You remind me of before the war. By noon, a 2-meter-wide pit gaped open. Aisha arrived with the sacred ingredients: filtered sand, gravel, charcoal, black plastic sheeting. The art of it, she said, layering materials like a ritual: gravel below, sand above, charcoal topping, sheeting sealing it. A funnel hole at the center. Rain enters here, Amina pointed, filters slow through, clean water drips out this tube. Aisha grinned, you speak water. That night, thunder growled. Rain slammed down harder than last time. Amina and the kids sprinted into the storm, redirecting runoff into their pit. Hours later, drip. The first clear or bead slid from the tube. It's working. Children shrieked, licking droplets like candy. Amina cupped a handful, tasteless, transparent, alive. She smiled. First time in months. Word spread fast. Elders hobbled over. Mothers boiled gruel with it. Dogs licked the bucket sweat. Amina set rules, 2 cups daily per person. Elderly. Sick. Children first. What about you? Lena asked. I drank last night's. Shari, Amina lied. She'd taken half a cup. The rest was for her brother. Idris stood night guard with a stick, protecting the well like a shrine. Small, yes, he told visitors. But clean. Unlike some water plants that poison rivers first. A passing journalist overheard road. His article "Refugees Build Purification System Where's the Government" went viral. #Living wells trended across West Africa. Aisha showed Amina the headlines, you didn't just make water. You made hope. Then dust. A Malita Regiproa read into camp. 2 officers and a translator marched to Amina's hut. Amina Ag Tahar, the translator announced, Golden Sands capital invites you to Niamey. Full show layership. They'll film a inspirational segment. Amina froze. Why me? You're the kind girl, the translator smirked. Big men love such stories. Aisha stiffened, they know about her. Internet made you famous. The translator handed Amina a ticket. Flights. Tomorrow. Free. School. Riale Rening. More water skills. More people helped. But her gut twisted. What do they want to just say thank you on camera? Call Golden Sands good company. Easy. Aisha hissed, tell them to stop cyanide dumping first. The translator shrugged, this isn't a request. Refuse and aid shipments might stop. That night, Amina clutched her mother's indigo scarf, whispering. Mama, take their money, Liarn, do more, or stay true but lose the chance. She remembered Samir's sneer, you'll die nameless in dirt. Idris found her pacing, don't go. Golden Sands poisoned 3 villages' rivers. Play their game, you're their puppet. But if I refuse they'll punish the camp. Idris's eyes gleamed, then go, but film back. Take photos of their toxic minds. Sick kids. Show the real story. Amina's spine straightened. Next morning at the airstrip, Aisha hugged her tight. Remember, you're a well, not a prop. As the plane climbed over dunes, Amina touched the hidden camera in her bag, a beat-up relic donated by the journalist. She wasn't going to perform. She was going to dig right through the desert of lies, to the aquifer of truth. In Niamey, Samir sipped espresso in the VIP lounge, tracking her flight on screen. The girl's landing soon, he told his PR team. Camera ready, TRS, gratitude, Golden Sands saved me, then pay her off. 5,000 francs. Done. The manager nodded, perfect rags to education story. Samir smirked, kindness finally useful. He didn't know Amina's scarf was tied tighter than a noose. Her camera's lens sharper than a knife. And her ERT deeper than any well. The plane landed at Niamey International Airport, its wheels screeching on smooth tarmac. Amina clutched her backpack, her indigo scarf fluttering like a silent flag against the glass towers and uniformed staff a world away from dust and hunger. A black SUV with Golden Sands Capital's logo, 2 crossed pickaxes around a diamond, waited. No words. Just a silent ride to a 5-star hotel. Her room gleamed. Hot water gushed from the shower. Clean towels. Soap that smelled like flowers. Amina stood under the spray, letting warmth seep into her cracked skin, TRS mixing with the water. Company bus at 9 a.m. tomorrow, a staffer said, then left alone on the soft bed. Amina ran fingers over crisp sheets. Too clean. Too quiet. Like a staged dream. She unzipped her bag, checking the second-hand camera Aisha had secured, the notebook for truths. Idris was right, she whispered. Watch. Remember. Bring back the proof. Next morning, the bus arrived. Other kids from camps already sat inside, dressed in new clothes, rehearsing sing lines. Thank you, Mr. Samir. You gave us hope. Amina leaned to a boy. Ever seen the mines? No, he mumbled. They just make us say the words. Her stomach nodded. The bus rolled north. 2 hours later, red mountains gouged open by machines. Smokestacks belched metallic stench. Welcome to Golden Sands 1, a guide announced, leading them to prefab buildings draped with banners, Golden Sands Building Communities. Juice boxes. Kais. T-shirts printed with grateful for new life. Then, Samir. Pristine gray suit. Politician smile. You're the future, he read. Today, we film and announce our $10 million water plant. Claps erupted, mostly from staff. Kids clapped timidly. Spotlight found Amina. The water girl. Samir gripped her shoulder for cameras. See kindness Revo ride. She gets full shoal airships. Flashbulbs popped. Say something. A mic thrust at her. Amina's gaze drifted past the cameras to the mining pit chewing EARTH, dust clouds swallowing sky. I want to see the water plant. Samir's smile flickered. Of course. Construction starts next week, by the river. Now. Silence. The guide coughed. It's not ready for I came far, Amina pressed. To see how you bring water to people. Samir's eyes iced over, then thawed into a grin. Curiosity. Wonderful. Driver, take her to the demonstration site. The site was an empty lot. One sign, Golden Sands Water Plant, coming 2024. This is it. Amina snapped photos. Done. Back to the bus, the driver growled. I'll walk to the downstream villages. Forbidden. Mining zone. She jumped out. Then I'll walk. 2 kilometers along the riverbed, the truth stank. Women scrubbed clothes in foamy yellow water. One lifted her rash-riddled arms. Our livestock die drinking this. Kids get sick. Amina photographed it all, the rainbow-slick scum, the lesions, the dead fish belly up. A mother led her to a hut. 2 children writhed on mats, feverish. 3 days without water, 2 SCA red to drink. Amina dissolved her last purification tablet into a cup, helping the youngest sip. Is it safe? The mother trembled. For now. Amina's camera captured the boy's sunken cheeks. The mold-streaked walls. The empty medicine bottles. On her way back, RDS tackled her, grabbing for the camera. Who said you could film? I'm here to RN, she lied, flashing her Golden Sands pass. Isn't transparency your slogan? The RD spat, transparency's for fools. Know your place. Locked in her room, dinner withheld, a note slipped under the door at midnight. Leave. Tomorrow they'll force you to sign gratitude letters, then dump you back in camp. Don't return. Moonlight glinted off the mining pits like hell's eyes. Amina reviewed her evidence. Cyanide gold extraction. Waste dumped untreated. 3 villages poisoned. Children sickening. Water plant non-existent. Propaganda. Locals silenced. Bribed. Threatened. She wrote it all down, then whispered. Mama, I saw it. How they turn. Water to poison. Morning. A contract slapped on the table, Golden Sands Scholarship Appreciation Letter. Sign, the PR manager beamed. School awaits. Amina picked up the pen and hovered, then set it down. What if I told you I saw the toxic river, the dying children, would you stop? The manager's smile died. You saw nothing. Sign, and this never happened. Amina stood. Then I'd rather dig for water in the desert. She hoisted her backpack. Take me back. You'll regret this, the man hissed. No. Amina stepped into the blinding sun. The only regrets belong to those who think money buys conscience. She didn't look back. The camera in her bag, a ticking truth bomb. 3 days after Amina returned to the camp, Aisha came. She'd seen the anonymous video, 30 seconds of toxic yellow waste gushing into a riverbed, children's arms covered in sores, and a young voice ring in French. This isn't development. It's poison. No. Name attached. But Aisha recognized the indigo scarf instantly. You did it, she whispered, hugging Amina tight. You brought back the truth. Amina handed over the camera and notebook. Aisha worked through the night, contacting journalists, NGOs, environmental groups. Within 72 hours, West Africa Watch published Golden Sands Poison, the water crisis behind the gold mines, with photos that made readers gasp. The evidence was damning. 3 mines along the Mali-Niger border using cyanide leaching. Untreated wastewater dumped into seasonal rivers. 5 villages downstream with toxic heavy metals in their wells. Children's blood tests showing dangerous lead levels. The internet exploded. Golden poison trended across Africa. Nigerian students urged with signs, we want water, not gold. Senegalese fishermen staged sit-ins, their mines are death rivers. Golden Sands stock plunged 18%. Investors demanded audits. Emergency BOA RD. Meetings convened. Samir Hassan shattered his office glass cabinet in rage. Who leaked this? Find that girl. His aide whispered, the blue scarf in the video, it's the Mali camp girl. She came back. Then make her disappear, Samir hissed. But Amina wasn't hiding. She gathered the camp children and read, we're leaving. We'll go to the poison villages, teach them to clean water. A little girl hesitated, but they say you're bad. No, Amina said firmly. The bad ones poison water. We're bringing it back. She redyed her mother's scarf with camp-foraged indigo. From today, whoever joins we are blue. Not decoration, a vow, we protect water. We harm none. 7 children volunteered, including Mamu and Lena. Even Idris joined, I'll guide you. Know every checkpoint, every back road. They sewed 7 small blue headscarves, like pieces of movable sky. At dawn, elders sent them off with food and blessings. A blind grandmother touched Amina's face, child, I can't see you but the wind sings. It says blue water comes. 8 travelers set out, not fleeing, but Urching Tower rode their first stop, Duga village by the Niger tributary. Once a fishing hub, now its riverbed cracked like old bones. Nets rotted in sheds. Families spent half their wages buying dirty water. Amina taught them to dig catchment pits, layer sand cha coal filters. She showed women how to make sola or bottles, clea or plastic containers that purify water after 6 hours in sunlight. No electricity. No money. Just sun and patience, she explained. 3 days later, the first clean bucket emerged. Villagers gathered, disbelieving. An old fisherman knelt, sipped, and wept, yeah rs. Since water tasted right. He washed his tattered net, hung it up, when the river heals I'll fish again. Amina filmed this. Aisha edited it into Blue Water Movement, uploaded at midnight. The clip showed Amina standing at the village edge, blue scarf fluttering, children sprinting behind her with water buckets. Her voice for water belongs to no one person. It's the EARTH's. Everyone's. 24 hours. 1 million views. Hashtag Blue Water Girl trended again, but now as water's messenger, not pitiful beg AR. More joined. A Malawian doctor brought portable test kits. A Nigerian engineer designed modular R filters. Moroccan sisters donated rolls of water catchment plastic. The teen grew to 20. Nomadic waterkeepers, village to village, leaving water oath stones rocks ca ved with wave patterns, Mar King where clean flows began. In Ka Rola village, resistance came. The chief, a Golden Sands proxy, shoved cash at villagers, refused their fake help. Our water plant's coming. Your saboteurs, he ROA read at Amina. She simply dug. Laid filters. Channeled rain. 2 hours later clean water dripped. The crowd fell silent. That night, the chief's youngest daughter knocked on his door, holding a cup. Papa, this doesn't burn my tongue. Can I drink it? He broke. Joined them at dawn. Sana refugee camp was worse. Their water source, a frothing chemical pool. Dozens of children convulsed with poisoning. One baby died. Amina worked 36 hours straight, building 3 megafiltration stations. She spoon-fed purified drops to feverish toddlers. At the funeral, she laid her blue scarf over the infant's face. Go ahead, little one. I'll make sure the path behind you has water to walk on. That day, blue scarvs multiplied. A rising tide. Aisha's documentary crew captured it all. In one close-up, Amina, skeletal but relentless under the sun, rasped. I'm no hero. I just remember someone once threw water in my face. But water itself isn't wrong. Only people are. The clip premiered at the Pan-African Youth Summit. The room stood silent, then erupted in applause. Meanwhile, in Golden Sands Tower. Samir watched the news, face granite. They're making her a saint, he sneered. Ragtag rebels with SCA think they can fight capital, his aide murmured. The BOA RD wants a public statement. And UN environments sending investigators. Samir slammed his desk. Let them come. I have permits. Contracts. Government backing. She's got a dirty piece of cloth. He snatched his phone, SNA ring into it, send trucks to Dugu. Fill in that pit. Show her what real power looks like. He didn't know, at that very moment, Amina stood before a newly unveiled water oath stone in another village. The inscription read, here, the first clean drop flowed, brought by the nameless, qua ride by all. Wind lifted her scarf like a wave. She looked up. Dark clouds gathered. Rain was coming. The rain never came. Dark clouds gathered at the horizon, only to be shredded by the scorching wind, dissolving into dust. The EARTH remained cracked. A paw urged. Mouth that could not close. But another storm was brewing. Golden Sands bulldozers rolled into Dugu at dawn. The ROA of engines woke the village. 3 yellow machines halted by the water catchment station, drivers waving land reclamation orders, claiming the site was mining territory and the well illegal construction. This is our life. Villagers surrounded the machines. The old fisherman knelt before the lead bulldozer. The water just turned clean, now you destroy it, company orders, the driver said coldly, revving the engine. News spread like wildfire. Amina was 30 kilometers away in Baka village, building a new filtration system, when the call came. She rushed back with her team. No fighting, Idris warned the furious crowd. They have guns. Connections. We need evidence, not blood. Amina nodded. She pulled out her camera, capturing the bulldozers, the documents, villagers' streaked faces. Mamu live-streamed on his phone. Watch closely, they're not here to build water plants. They're here to bury wells. Viewers flooded in 10,000 in minutes. Comments exploded, Golden Sands again, blue water girl, save them. This land is our ancestors. Aisha, watching from Ghana, alerted the West African Human Rights Coalition. Their emergency statement read, Golden Sands demolishing community water sources, violating basic survival rights. But the bulldozers didn't stop. The first shovel smashed into the catchment's drainage channel. Plastic sheeting tore. Sand filter layers baked under the sun. Amina sprinted four-way RMS outstretched, blocking the pit. Run me over first. The driver hesitated. The camera was on him. Millions watching. Little beg AR, still acting. A cold voice cut through the noise. Samir Hassan stepped out of a black SUV. Beige trench coat. Sunglasses. Two bodyguards and local police flanking him. He scanned the crowd, eyes locking. On to Amina. A smirk curled his lip. You. Again. I told you, people like you die in dirt. Now you think a SCARF can stop progress? Amina didn't flinch. This isn't progress. It's theft. You steal gold. Poison rivers. Now you bulldoze wells. Wedug. Steal. Samir removed his sunglasses. Aisha RP, I have government permits. Investment contracts. Your mud puddle illegal. Haza reduce. It goes. Haza reduce. Amina raised her camera. What about your cyanide ponds? The yellow waste dumped in rivers. Who answers for that? Samir laughed. What do you know? Without mining, Africa stays poor. We bring jobs. Development. As for water, he pointed to an empty lot. Our water plant breaks ground next month, 1,000 times better than this hole. Next month. Amina's voice rose. Children have drunk poison for months. Your development climbs over corpses. The crowd ROA red. Police stepped four-way road. Enough. One more word. Arrests. Samir waved a hand. Take her. Inciting unrest. Public disorder. Cops grabbed Amina. Idris lunged. A bodyguard shoved him down. Mamu bit an officer's hand, got kicked in the ribs. Amina didn't resist. Let them cuff her, but lifted her chin to the camera. I'm Amina Ag Tahar. From Mali's camps. Today, Golden Sands destroyed Dugu's well and arrested me. But remember, water won't stay silent. The EARTH remembers every wasted drop, every trampled dignity. Her blue SCARF slipped in the struggle, caught by the wind. A falling piece of sky. Lena snatched it up, waving it high. The blue water lives. The live stream cut abruptly. But the clip had already gone supernova, captioned. She saw residential rain. He bulldozes wells. Africa's good versus evil. The storm was now unstoppable. Niamey. Golden Sands Tower. Samir paced his office, flipping channels. Every news outlet showed Amina's arrest. BBC Africa, gold versus water, Africa's dilemma. AFP, Golden Sands inhumanitarian. Firestorm. Is Boa RD screamed over video call. Samir. You promised good PR. Now we're continental villains. Mob mentality. Samir snapped. Once the water plant opens, it hasn't broken ground. The contract said 6 months, it's been 8. Geotechnical delays. Lies. A Shah holder hissed. EPA arrives tomorrow with toxicity reports. If they confirm dumping, we lose licenses. Pay fines. Samir fell silent. For the first time, he wondered, had he finally met an immovable force? Duga detention shack. Amina sat in the sweltering tin cell, wrists raw from cuffs. But she didn't cry. Her mother's words echoed, if your ERT leans to water, the EARTH won't refuse you. She pulled a note from her shoe, smuggled in by Aisha. Hold on. Nationwide outcry growing. Ghana Medical Association releasing child poisoning data. UNICEF watching. URI not alone. She smiled. That night, Idris picked the lock. Come. Gua RDSA repaid. Off. Amina shook her head. No. I want them to release him, not lose him. Why truth needs courts. Records. If I flee, I'm a criminal. If I stay, I'm a fighter. Idris Sta read at her. You see clear rare than 10 grown men. He left water and medicine, slipping away. 3 days later. Niamey Courthouse. Amina stood trial for illegal assembly and incitement. Outside, hundreds waved free blue water girl signs, we ring indigo SCARVs. Inside, the prosecutor droned ridges. Samir watched from the gallery, face stony. When the judge asked for her defense, Amina rose, no lawyer, no script. Your Honor, she said calmly, I admit I organized water projects. But I ask, when children sicken from drinking, mothers weep from thirst, elders die dehydrated. Can we wait 6 months for a plant? She spread photos across the bench, blistered skin, toxic rivers, the bulldozed well. This is Golden Sands development. Our well's life. If I'm guilty, my crime is refusing to let my people perish. She turned to Samir, you laughed I'd die in dirt. But today, I fight for lives. You bury truth for gold. The courtroom held its breath. The judge deliberated long. Then, given societal impact and absence of violence, Amina Ag Taha is released. Well, legality to be determined separately. Cheers erupted. Amina stepped into sunlight, blinking. The crowd chanted her name, blue SCARVs rippling like ocean waves. She raised a hand. Not the end. The beginning. And beyond the crowd, Samir stood by his car, face ashen. For the first time, he felt it, that blue SCARF, fluttering defiantly like a slap across his arrogance. Amina was free, but the war wasn't over. Golden Sands had dropped criminal ridges, but pressured local officials to declare all unauthorized water projects illegal. Dugu's well was sealed. Baka's filters bulldozed. Yellow machines crawled across villages like locusts, erasing every blue water. Their SCA read, Idris muttered. SCA read, we prove water can be clean without them. Amina didn't retreat. Her team went underground, mobile waterkeepers, working nights, donkey carts hauling sand filters, RPs hiding construction lights. Tiny purification systems bloomed in remote hamlets. Like seeds, she said. Buried deep. Waiting for rain. But Samir struck back. One midnight, Golden Sands hired thugs raided their camp, smashing Aisha's water testers, burning instruction manuals, enabling, teach cleaning again, we burn huts next. Worse rumors spread, Blue Water Girl is a foreign spy sabotaging national mining. Some villages now read their doors. Faye or choke the team. Mamu wanted to quit, we're just kids. Can't fight corporations. Around a campfire, Amina unfolded her mother's indigo SCARF. No why two-way reg we are blue silence. Legends say our ancestors got lost in dunes. 3. Days without water. An elder gave his last sip to a child, then died thirsty. His last act wrapping his face in blue cloth, let my soul remember water's color. Since then, blue means a vow, live not for self, but for Shah Redwater. She passed the SCARF, you can take yours off now. No blame. Long pause. Lena tied hers first, I stay. My brother drank your water, he's alive. Mamu followed, my dad died in their mines. I won't let their poison win. One by one, blue knots retied. Amina smiled. Then we keep lighting lamps in the DRK. 2 months later. Niamey Central Prison. Amina was jailed for possessing foreign materials. Golden Sands had tipped off police about Aisha's Ghana scent filters. A random CRCH found eco-manuals in charcoal CA ridges. Cha ridges, smuggling contraband. The cell stank. Concrete floor damp. Mosquitoes feasted. At first, inmates ignored her until one night, moans came from the next cell. Fatima. Jailed for stealing bread, burned with fever. Water, she croaked. Amina slid her own half-cup through the bars. Fatima flinched. You'd Shah-Re Hoa writing won't help, Amina said softly. Here, thirst is Shah-Red. So must water be. Fatima wept, sipped, returned the cup. You're skinner than me. Amina refused it, just dampened a rag to seal Fatima's forehead. Agua Rd Iluma, a grizzled ex-soldier, watched silently. Next day, he gave her an extra cup. Hua Rayo, a girl who teaches water cleaning. Aluma remembered border patrols, refugees dead from thirst. Change began. Amina showed inmates how to layer rags, sand, charcoal into filters. She scratched words on walls with charcoal, water. Clean. Hope. She told stories, Dugu's fishermen. Baka's children. The blue SCARF's promise. You locked my body, she told Gua RDS, but not water's idea. Aluma smuggled her a notebook. Write your methods. If you don't return, they will remain. Meanwhile outside, firestorm. Aisha's documentary Blue Water Prisoner exploded online. Amina digging wells, arrested, teaching inmates. Every frame gut punched. Free Blue Water Girl trended continent-wide. Ghanaian students boycotted classes. Nigerian singers dropped protest tracks. Even a former South African president demanded, a girl who teaches drinking shouldn't be caged. UNICEF intervened. International Environmental Agency confirmed Golden Sands toxic dumping. Cross-border lawsuits loomed. Golden Sands stock crashed. Investors fled. BOARD members cornered Samir, fix this. Or you're finished. Alone in his office, Samir watched news footage, thousands outside the prison, Blue SCA Wieslinked, singing Water Song. He suddenly recalled that rainy day, the girl offering clay pot water, him pouring it out. She really just wanted to give. He dug out the environmental report he trashed. Actually read it, cyanide levels. 17x over limit. Groundwater contamination radius, 12-kilometer children's abnormal blood lead, 68%. His hands shook. Inside prison, Amina's light spread. One inmate, suicidal over her sick child, wrote, with Amina's help, Mama's Leah running to clean water. When I come home, you'll drink safe. The child replied, I wait. We ring blue like sister. The mother wept, joined Amina's lessons. Aluma secretly photocopied her notes. Shah read them with Gua RDS. She's no criminal, he insisted. She's a teacher. Day 43, pressure forced Amina's release. Insufficient evidence. Sunlight stabbed her eyes at the gates. Aisha Idris, Mamu, Lena waited, no cheers, just silently readying her blue SCARF. Amina inhaled free air, then turned back to the prison. Thank you, she whispered. For showing me light can rise even here. She didn't see. In Golden Sands Tower, Samir stood at his window, clutching photocopied pages of her prison notebook. For the first time, he felt thirst. News of Amina's release spread like Harmattan wind across West Africa. She didn't just survive prison, people whispered. She taught Gua Rodsto clean water. Her name was no longer just Blue Water Girl. Now, they called her the Unquenchable Spring. Then nature's verdict came. A drought unlike any before scorched the Sahel. 9 months. No rain. Niger River shrank to cracked mud. Fish skeletons whitened under the sun. Cattle dropped dead in fields. Mares clotted dust, weeping. Even the sky thirsts, elders murmured. Cities rationed water, 3 days dry for 1 bucket of sludge. Hospitals cancelled surgeries. Schools shut. And in this crisis, 2 fates reversed. Golden Sands mine number 1 Samir stood at the pit's edge, sta ring at pa arch. His empire was crumbling. Drills frozen. Trucks idle. Cyanide tanks empty, no water to process gold. Groundwater's gone, engineers reported. Villages. Blocked our diversion canals, said we stole their last drops. Samir's hands trembled. For the first time, he faced the truth, without water, gold was just rock. Then, the hammer fell. The UN Environmental Agency's report dropped 127 pages of damning proof. Cyanide levels 40x over limit. Satellite maps showing toxic plumes in tributaries rise. Village children's blood tests, lead poisoning linked directly to mine waste. Conclusion, Golden Sands committed ecocide. Revoke licenses. Prosecute. Crimes of gold trended worldwide. Investors fled. Stock prices imploded. At the emergency BOA RD meeting, Shah holders turned on Samir. You mocked that girl. Called her beg AR. Now she has water and we have dust. Resign. Or we vote you out. Samir said nothing. Amina's courtroom words echoed, you climb on corpses. Now, the EARTH was collecting its debt. Meanwhile, Amina's WAR she didn't rest. While cities panicked, her team ma urged Tawa Earth. Drought CRT rebuilding rainwater harvesters in abandoned villages. In Dugu, they repurposed oil drums into rain towers, funneling every dewdrop. Don't wait for storms, Amina taught. Catch whispers off rain. In Baka, they built sand dams, low barriers trapping flash floods, replenishing groundwater. When villagers dug new wells and struck wet sand, elders wept, your rain's sister. Requests poured in. Amina became water's teacher, training village water guardians, each sworn to we are blue and pass on the knowledge. Aisha filmed it all. The documentary Unquenchable showed Amina's blistered hands layering charcoal filters. Children chanting water purification steps like nursery rhymes. A dying man sipping clean water, whispering, now I see the sky's color. Global aid followed. Dutch water kits, Chinese drought models, Israeli desert FA remain tech. You rewrote Africa's story, a journalist told Amina. Proved the poor aren't helpless but heroes. Niamey, the reckoning public fury forced the president's hand. At the National Drought Summit, ministers in suits droned about emergency pipelines and foreign aid. Then Amina spoke. No notes. Just calloused palms on the podium. Honorable leaders, you discuss charity. I speak of justice. She unfurled a map, golden sands mines, poison rivers, and blue. Samir King villages that saved themselves. You licensed killers of rivers. Now rivers die and you plead no water. Look closer, she pointed to the blue dots. The poorest found water in dust. What's your excuse? Silence. The president sta read at his folded hands. 7 days later, the verdict, golden sands mining permits revoked. Assets frozen. Criminal probes launched. $10 million pledged to replicate Amina's community water model. The nation ROA read. Golden Sands Tower empty now. Samir sat alone in his office, ignoring buzzing phones. On his desk a resignation letter and a photo. Amina in Dugu, back to the camera, blue scarf fluttering as children danced around a new well. He gripped the photo, then suddenly at his assistant. Donate the backup water tanks to Dugu. And call the EPA. I'll cooperate. The assistant stammered, but the lawyers said do it. Below his window, reporters waited for his apology speech. He didn't go down. Some stains no words could wash away. The true judgment had already been written in the cracks of the thirsty EARTH. Month 10 of the drought. Where the Niger River once ROA read, only cracked SCARS remained. Wind whipped dust into spirals, the EARTHs we re-sigh. Villages stood empty, huts collapsed, clay pots bone dry. Yet in this desolation, stubborn green persisted. By Dugu's rainwater harvester, saplings stood right by sandbags, roots fed by buried pipes tapping shallow groundwater. A stone marker read. Here, the first clean drop flowed, brought by Amina. In Baka, sand dams held moisture from the last storm. Children drew water through gravel filters, cheeks no longer hollow. The blue water movement now spanned 12 villages, training 300 water guardians. Amina no longer traveled alone, she taught others to dance with thirst. You changed this land, Aisha said. Amina shook her head. Not me. Water remembers who cherished it. Samir Hassan, king of nothing. Golden Sands was Caspicked. Assets seized. Mines shuttered. Indicted for ecocide, passport revoked, he sold his last suit for a bus ticket to the border only to be recognized and turned back. Now he slept under railway bridges, trading scavenged plastic bottles for murky sips. The man who'd sipped alpine spring water now trembled for a mouthful of grit. Worse, dehydration fever spiked. His skin cracked like sun-baked mud. He knew his time was sand through an hourglass. At dusk, he dragged himself to the Niger's corpse, the river he'd killed. Kneeling on the pa-urched bed, he grabbed a fistful of dust. It slipped through his fingers, leaving no trace. I was wrong, he croaked. Thought gold was power, yet here not even a dropto trade. He remembered that rainy day, the girls offered clay pot, his mocking spill. If I'd drunk that water. He closed his eyes. Would things be different? He finally understood. He hadn't lost wealth. He'd forfeited his humanity. Collapsing face first into scorched earth, he became just another abandoned shell. The girl who ca ride water. Amina's team passed the riverbed en route to another village. Idris spotted him first. Samir. He spat. Save him after all he's done. Amina knelt beside the broken man. Recognition flickered, that face once oozing arrogance, now twisted in agony. She pulled out her canteen, aluminum now, but shaped like her old clay pot. Amina. Mamu grabbed her wrist. That's our 3-day ration. Give it, we sta Irv. Silent, she uncapped it, tilting Samir's head up. Water met cracked lips. His eyelids fluttered. The blue scarf. The resolute face. You, he rasped. Why save me? Amina's gaze held no hate, only cla righty. Water doesn't remember, she said. But it knows who honored it. You poisoned it, yet today, you kneel not to steal, but to live. That's why it's yours. Samir trembled. Trsca red mud trails down his cheeks. I deserve death, he wept. Killed rivers, killed children, deserve not mine to judge. Amina helped him sit. Water decides. Let it tell you you're alive. You can choose now. He cradled the canteen like sacred text, sipping slow, savoring each molecule. Finished, he clasped his hands, not in prayer, but penance. Amina, his voice was embers. How do I atone? She pointed to distant children hauling sandbags to a new catchment pit. Join us. Not as charity. As labor. Dig wells with these hands. She touched his chest. Let your hiertilia rn waters wait. Samir nodded, weeping freely. 1 year later, spring rain came at last. Not a deluge, but gentle kisses on pa-urched soil. People ran outside, RMS outstretched, letting droplets baptize their faces. Rebirth. In Dugu, a new water hub opened, funded by government, NGOs, and Amina's designs. Names of every blue water wa Rio adorned its walls. Hers led the list. Beside her stood Samir Hassan. Hair cropped. Calloused hands. Rough tunic. For a year, he'd used his engineering skills to design 5 drought-proof dams. Penned confessions of a polluter, exposing industry sins. I'm no hero, he told reporters. Just a sinner washed clean. Amina smiled. Water forgave you. But the land still waits. Samir bowed his head. The rain stopped. Sunlight fractured on catchment pools, scattering gold across the water. Children danced around them, laughing. Amina knelt by her mother's memorial stone, laying down dried flowers. Mama, she whispered. Water returned. And so did we. Wind lifted her blue scarf, a ripple across time. In this once thirst-cursed land, the memory of a single drop had become a river of hope.